Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Why are any of you guys blaming
After he
anybody
graduated,
else?
he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
This game is deep. Very, very deep. And like...
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
It's a good game. And we all... No! Oh, except coming in and out of that door. And thank you for the follow. Can I call you Pika? Alright. Welcome in. Also, is that a Game Boy, a Nintendo 64, a PlayStation 1? Yes, it's all of the above. It makes me feel old because I know them all.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Hey, same! I'm so bad at video games. I die a lot, but that's okay. I have fun.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh no. What was I saying about being bad at video games?
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
Belfry? Oh, I can't do
And
this.
toads.
Up, up. Ah, there we go.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
The fish are catching up. I can't. Oh goodness, I can't see. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this part got me too because I have done
He took it very seriously.
a completely repetitious, mundane job.
I had hoped he'd find
and
himself.
lived in my head.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Yep.
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
I could clean a bathroom in under 10 minutes, or 10 minutes flat.
I even
not
encouraged
thinking about
him.
it.
It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Oh, goodness. I'm stuck.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
I know. Hello, my honey.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to think about
And he was always humming something.
a completely imaginary life while I was doing this, too.
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Stuck.
He no longer spoke at the cannery,
Me, video games are an escape.
but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him.
Where am I?
That all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Sure can.
He held an election for mayor,
And one.
and he won.
Do-do. Oh, gotta keep walking. Gotta keep walking.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
I'm stuck. I can't do. I can play World of Warcraft
It
just
became a game for
fine,
him.
but I can't do this. Oh, fishy, go away! You're in my way.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Oops.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Also, this is a
In
very
Louisville,
good.
he heard rumors of a
A very good
Beautiful prince.
point of even with us, like, I should be able to do both, but I can't, but I'm still trying.
The prince was on his own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of his silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
A dictator, a conqueror.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Yeah.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Up.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Sometimes what you have in your imagination is better than what you have going on in real life.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Molly the kitty.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Well, that one was really, really sad. So very